Um, so hi, I know it's just the three of us right now, but for those of you who don't know who are going to watch this on the replay or you guys here, I'm Nicole Lano. This is Hilo is my system. I'm the creator of this system. So I hope you all like it, and I hope that, this has become useful for everyone. As I was just saying a second ago, I try to make these meetings about you guys and not about like what I want to show. So I'll always have something that I can cover and something that make these meetings useful for you. But I really want them to be about you guys. So this is interactive. So we'll start off every session just kind of saying like, does anyone have any questions? Does anyone have anything they want to cover? And then if nobody has any suggestions, we'll jump into, something, an area of the site. I'll dig into one every week. What I do want to do is just sort of highlight some of the, we did a release this week, which means we updated the site. So we made some changes, some improvements. There are some new features available. Some we had hoped to get into this release actually got pushed. They'll be about a week out. I apologize for that. It just, unfortunately, it couldn't be helped. We just weren't ready to put those out the way that they were. So just some small minor adjustments are being made to those, and those will be available soon. So the orders feature is about a week out, and also the email lists, they are there. I'll show you, but the usability of them we are working on. So I'll show you a little bit of that. So for the two people that I have on right now, is there anything that you guys wanted to see in particular? Is there anything, did you have any questions to kick it off where you wanted me to make sure that, just make sure you don't miss this one, or, I really want to hear about this particular feature?
Hey, Nicole, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Great. So I am wondering if you could show us real quick how to add a tag to a bunch of records, or whatever we call them. One of the things that I struggle with is I do a lot of events, and so I'm always inviting people to events, and inviting until eventually they come. So I want to be able to just find those people that I'm 30, 40 people that I'm constantly trying to get to an event without having to keep, like right now I just have a list next to my computer, and obviously it would be nice if that was all electronic in Hilo for me. So can you show us how to do that?
Absolutely. So I'm going to share my screen so you can see everything. Which company are you with, Kathy?
I'm with Rodana Fields.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So can you guys see that?
Yes.
See the screen? Okay, cool. So really very simply, this is something, and we're actually going to be building, are these people who had gone to an event before, or they've never been to an event? Is it a virtual event or
No, they're maybe some virtual, mostly in-person events. So they're mostly local people. Some of them may have been, I would say that they've never quite gotten there, right? They're the people who are like, yeah, keep me on your list. I can't make it this time. Keep me on your list. And then, so that's what I want to do, is make sure that I'm just tracking that efficiently.
Keeping them on your list and keeping them in front of you. I totally understand.
Right.
Okay. Just so you know, something else that we are building, we just spec'd it out, and that'll be ready, probably a month to 2 months from now. We're going to have for events where you can actually track the event and all the guests that were involved in that, and people who were invited and said yes or said no. So that way you'll be able to track in, more detail as far as who's coming to your events.
Okay.
Bought at your events and all of that stuff. So that will be coming down the road. But for now, the tags are a really good option. That's absolutely what I would suggest you use. So from this page, you would do it on the contact list page. There's two ways you could do it. One, the really fast way, if you have it in an Excel spreadsheet or something like that, you can import it.
I don't. So you have to tell me the slow way.
But if you did want to import it, it doesn't matter if contacts are already in the system. You can update information with an import in Hilo.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So, but since you don't have that, that's fine. What you would do is kind of comb through your list, do you know how many contacts you have in your?
I have a lot. I probably have 2,000.
2,000. Okay. So what you would do is there's a bulk option. So if you said that, like, if you were going down page by page, you could do it this way.
Okay.
Where you would check off the names of the people that you wanted to add to your list. So you check off everybody. You need to do this for each page one at a time. So we have 100 records on a page. You need to do it for each page. So you check off everybody on the first page. You'd say bulk update. And then you would go to tags down here. And then you'd put the tag that you want. So if it were, event list, you'd click update. And then it just takes a second because it's adding a tag to every single person. And then it says updated successfully. Now, once I refresh the page, sorry, when I'm on Zoom, this sometimes is very slow. Come down here, go to tags, and then, what did I call it? Event list. And then I can select here and just filter that list down.
Okay, so here's another question. So I will obviously have more than one page. So once I do that on the first page and I add that event list tag, when I go to the second page, is that going to be in a drop down somewhere for me, or do I have to add event list again?
You would just type in event list. You would type in event list again. It's going to add them to that same group.
Got it. So basically, I always have to remember that I have that event list is my tag. I can't like get to the next page and go, oh, now it's going to be event people or event whatever. It's right. Then I'll have a different list, right?
We have it on our list to make that a drop down of available existing tags. It is just we're chopping away at so many different adjustments to the site, and it's I apologize. I know it's honestly something I think of every time I go to use it. I'm like, this should be a drop down. It's just I'm sorry, just in the development.
No, it's okay. No, I'm sure there's a million things people are like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?
Well, if anyone finds anything wrong, that obviously goes to the top. And then some of these things are like, they do work. They're not ideal, so you have to prioritize that way. But it is on the list. I promise you, it is something that we're doing.
Okay, thank you.
But that is how you take care of that.
Okay.
Any other questions? Anything else?
No, that's good, because I think I had done that. I had added an event tag, and then because it didn't pop back up, I was like, oh, I can't remember what I called it in another page. And so just knowing that I have to actually make a note of that is helpful. So thank you.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, that would change soon, but for now, that is the way that you would handle that.
Okay.
Sarah, did you have any questions? Do you have anything that you were like, I would really love to see? I'm confused on this page, and don't be embarrassed. Sometimes this can take like in 5 minutes, I can make something go from really confusing to, oh, I totally get it. So let me know if there's something there.
I'm super new to the app, and right now I'm transitioning from using an iPad to getting on the computer. So in terms of moving my contacts from my back office to the app, like how can you just go through that really quickly?
Sure.
Or is there just a video I should watch? I don't know.
There's definitely a video there's actually a video specifically for beauty counter consultants.
Yes.
On the YouTube page. So on our YouTube channel.
But is it, I'm on, but does it go through like if you're on an iPad, cause that's where I'm just curious. Like
on an iPad, you can't import because there's no Excel on an iPad.
Okay.
So that'll be a limitation that you have. If you have an Excel spreadsheet that you can send us, you can send it to my team. So if you go up here under contact management, there's import contacts. And then see this one here, the gold bar says send contacts to Hilo to import. Okay. You can just push it in there. So you can't, don't believe Excel allows you to open up Excel spreadsheets and really work in like a full Excel. It just has the app for it. It's not the same.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Sorry about that. That is the one thing, like they keep saying they're just like computers, but they're not quite like computers. There are some setbacks with the iPads, but super portable. Anything else? Is there anything else that I can show you?
No, I'm kind of just here to take a peek and watch how things are done. I'm much better, like, you know, with learning things from other people. So that's why I just figured I'd see what other people were doing or whatever you're training on today, and then just learn from there.
Sure. So I'm just going to highlight, I'll run through some stuff so that you can, this benefits you from like a new user standpoint. I do want to highlight just some of the things that have changed. So, and some of them are really small, but they're like, it's like a tiny thing, but it makes your life so much easier, like a drop-down menu. So here on the contact list page, since we're here, one of the things that we added was the page numbers are now at the top. And we also have this go-to page. I only have one page of data here, so I don't have much to show you as far as how it jumps. But here, what you can do is, if you had 10 pages of contacts, so Kathy, for you, this might make sense. Mm-hmm. Because when you're going through it, if when you get to page 6, it might, you don't have to page through all of them. You can just jump to the page.
Okay, good, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we added those, and it's up here as well as at the bottom of the page. So no matter where you're navigating, you can page over, and it'll keep you there. So that is one. The other thing that we've added is in the contacts detail. We've added, so I have Rodan Fields and Beauty Counter on the phone on the line right now. They're called two different things. Like we have the ability to kind of customize based on the company. So for Rodan Fields, we have sponsor, and for Beauty Counter, we have mentor and enroller. What that means, if you just want to track that for your teams, if you want to track who their direct is, who their sponsor is. So I'm in a Beauty Counter account right now because Sarah joined first, or I saw Sarah's name first, that you can add a mentor. So for Beauty Counter, they have to be a contact within Hilo though, because what it'll do is it'll link the contacts. So if I wanted to say that Christina Hendricks was this person's mentor, and then, she was also, and then Carrie Ann Moss these are all obviously, I have fancy friends.
You have a better list than I do.
I know, I wish my list was my list. Yeah, so if I wanted to add those in there, what I can do is I can link them in the accounts, save it down, and then I can filter by that later on. So if I just wanted to pick that up, there is a filter down here at the bottom for mentor and enroller. And for other companies, it would just say sponsor. So for sponsor, you type in the name, and then you can just pull up the people that are under that person. So just another way for you to start cutting down your list and getting to who's in your downline and who falls under who, just a little bit easier. So that's something that we added. We have, what else do I have here? Email lists. So I will show you, they exist, they can be used. I'll show you how they work right now and how you can add people to them. I will say that this will change because I don't like how it works. So it's going to work we're moving things around because there's a lot of different pages for it, and we're going to consolidate this and make this much more of a, like, you do it all here rather than having to bounce from page to page. So under team and marketing here at the bottom, we have email lists. You would create the list on this page, and this is what I'm talking about. So you create the list here, and if I wanted to call this test list 2, I can give it a description if I want to. And then I can start adding emails. So if I know who I want in the list, this is actually not so bad. So Beatrix Kiddo, it works just fine. So I can say like Alicia Vikander. I can start just tapping away at that, and I can click submit. And now I've created a list with 2 people in it. Now what I can do, so now if I'm back on the contact management screen, on our contact list page, just like we added with tags, it's the same process. So if I wanted to say, oh wait, no, I really want to do this where I want to add a lot of people to my list. I can do the check boxes, come up to bulk update, add to email list, and then choose the list from this one has a drop down. We will be adding this for tags. I can choose the list from here, click update, and then it's going to add them all to my list. The way you send to that list, you can do it from the email screen, or you can do it from here, where you just click on a green envelope to pull up a modal, to pull up the email modal, delete the person's name, and then I would just start typing the name of the list. And it says there are 2 contacts in it. I click it here. I click that off to select it, add a subject, add the body, send off my email, and then it will go to all of those contacts. So I could have 50 people in there, I can have 100 people in there, you know, whatever it is. But this is so you don't have to go through and cherry pick all the time if you have like a set list of people. So this is another option for you, Kathy, if you wanted to use this for your event list, you could do that as well. And you can just keep adding people to the event list. I will say this, the thing that, so we put this out because there was such demand for this feature. We put it out in this release. There are some pieces of it that are missing. So what will be coming and in our next release, they're finishing it now, is you'll be able to add it here. Right now it just exists in those bulk formats and on that email list page. You have to manage it. There will be another section right here under tags where it'll say email lists, and you'll be able to add it just like you add a tag. The only thing that'll change is you won't be able to create a new email list from the screen. You could add them, but just like you do here, you could, you know, select from this drop-down list, you know, which one do I want to use? I want to use event list. It would be added here. That's not ready yet. That will be available probably in about 2 weeks, where you'll be able to add them from that screen.
Where were you when you did that? You were in the follow-up screen? Is that
When
just now?
Oh, if you just click on any contact's name,
Yeah.
that brings up all of their contact info for you.
Mm-hmm. And so that's like one of the.
You just scroll down.
Oh, I see where it is. Okay.
So it will be here.
Okay, got
right
it.
under tags. And from here you can do, so you can send the email here too. You know, you can send it from here and send it to the list if you wanted to. But, and so this is where all of the contact information is.
Okay.
On that screen. So that's new. We also, in the emailing universe, we've given you the ability to embed a photo, an image right into your email. I know that was a big thing. We had it where if you clicked this little icon here, this would come up. All right, that didn't follow through. Okay, scratch that. Scratch that. That didn't show up. So I apologize. I'm going to. That's a big.
Make a note for the IT team.
No, I know it's done. It means it didn't carry over into the release for some reason. So I'll see if we can get that up in the next day or so. That shouldn't be a big deal because I'm sure is finished. Another thing that we added is on the calendar page, you'll see everything that has a date associated with it. So whether it's an auto ship date, a follow-up, so future follow-ups. So if you're scheduling follow-ups for a future date from the goal tracker page or from anything else, I don't know if you use this, you know, when you schedule follow-ups for like a week later or for 2 weeks later and you want reminders, you can now come to the contacts, to the calendar page and see them all on here. You'll also see if you have auto ship dates that you're loading in for your customers, or if you have, what else do we have in here? Birthdays. So all of those date fields that we have in Hilo in the contacts detail, if you're actually entering that in here, you'll see it all mapped out on the calendar.
So I barely have scratched the surface on, you know, what Hilo can all do. So how do I get to the calendar?
No problem. Under my business, under the my
I
business,
see. Okay.
this is why we like, I encourage you, like, speak up, like, let's go through it. So my business, down here you have the calendar.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So what you can do now, you're with Rodan and Field, so you guys are on auto ship. So if you wanted to once a month take all of your take a download from Pulse and import auto ships for all of your PCs, you could certainly do that, and then you would see them all on the calendar if you wanted to do that. And we're building some more stuff around that, but and then we're building some more things where there will be reminders around that stuff, and you'll be able to be notified or trigger certain things to happen. But that's a little bit down the road. That's probably, you know, a month or so away. But so dates are now on the calendar. And the last thing that I wanted to show you is Hilo.Happy Thoughts. So we have this page now, but also up here under FAQs. So under my menu, my account menu and FAQs, you'll see this knowledge base come up. We're adding to this all the time. We obviously have our YouTube page, which gives you training videos, and you have tons of access to tons of videos from there. But from this page, you can type in, so if you're having trouble with email templates or something like that, you'll see every article that's associated with email templates, everything that has that, you know, even touches on the subject. And you can see if your question has been answered here. And like I said, we're adding to this every day. Whenever we get questions, we load them in here as, you know, we give screenshots and all sorts of things. So we'll give you how to send an email template created in Hilo. You go through it step-by-step instructions with little screenshots. So this is a great place to start if you have questions. And then if you still have a question or something is broken or you're not sure if something's correct, there's this submit ticket icon up here, this link, and then you can submit a ticket to our crew. You can say, like, you know, I have a question about contacts, this is my question, or I'm not sure if this is working properly, send that off, and then it goes to the correct department and somebody will get back to you within like 48 hours.
Great, thank you.
No problem. So, Kathy, have you been using Hilo for very long?
You know, I think I've been signed up for maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 months. And I really kind of just use it to track my reach outs and then my follow-ups. And I use my calendar. Like, it's funny, I didn't even know this calendar was here because I actually use my other calendar. So I plug in all of my, you know, got to follow up with Susie Q next week, and I put that all into my regular calendar. So, you know, I'll just start using this now because it'll auto populate if I schedule a follow up, right? It'll just show up on here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So are you using the goal tracker page to track all of your reach outs, or are you just using the reach out log?
I use, you mean this when you say goal tracker, the screen you're on right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that. I mean, I'll kind of go through there, but I don't see, one of the challenges for me is on that page, I can't see what the date, like I get real behind. And so I've got it like, you know, a 20 follow-ups I'm supposed to do. And then I'm like, well, when was I really supposed to follow up with them? And what was I supposed to say? And so then the last time you and I were on a call together, Nicole, you showed me how to like use that complete button and look up what the last reach out was. So that's been helpful.
Yeah.
But because I like to see things calendared, I have it here, you know, say Uma Thurman, she would be at the top of my list here, but then I would also have her in my regular calendar.
Okay.
So it would be nice if I didn't have to enter that in 2 places.
Right. So you'll see the future follow-ups on your calendar here. So these, if you're clicking here, so Jane Seymour, I'm scheduled to follow up with her in 9 days. That's what is on my calendar. And then here.
So basically, if I was supposed to follow up with Uma Thurman last week and I didn't, Is she not on my calendar from last week?
She is.
Okay.
Until you actually do, she's on your calendar.
Okay.
So these will all be added here. So everybody who's scheduled for follow-up ends up on the calendar.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
So you'll be able to see that. And we're also, yeah, and I showed you, so just for the benefit of people who haven't used the goal tracker very much, basically there are lots of ways that people can use this. It's mainly built for prospecting, but if you are in a real high touch client environment, like a company like Beauty Counter, where you're reaching out to your clients very often, most of the Beauty Counter consultants also use this to follow up very heavily with their clients and their members and trying to get clients over to the member status and so forth. So from here, you can click the Hilo My Week button. That's going to, oh, I don't have enough contacts in this account to show you how it fills this side. But it's a good note. So when you see that come up and you still have these, what Hilo My Week will do is that's going to fill the whole queue with random selections from your list. So this is really for people who don't know who to reach out to. So you sit down on Monday and you're like, I don't know who to reach out to. I don't really have time to figure it out. I really just need to make sure that I'm following up with the people who I said that I would follow up with, so I'm not letting them fall through the cracks. But as far as my new reach outs are concerned, I just wanted to pull from my list because I don't have time to sit there and cherry pick. Or a lot of us do this too, where you look at your list and then you skip the same people over and over again. You know, the chicken list. Where you're like, no, I'll reach out to her next week. Or you have it on the list.
I never do that, Nicole. I never do that.
Well, you're better than I ever was. I used to do that all the time. and they were always, and a lot of times it was like people who were really close to me too. And
yeah, no, it's hard. For sure.
And then I was just, I don't know, I clammed up and I get so afraid, like she's gonna hate that I'm reaching out to her about this. And then they surprise you. So what this would do by hitting Hilo My Week, it chooses at random. So it's going to forget about how you feel about reaching out to the person, and they're just all listed here. And then you start plucking them off, working your way down the list and saying like, okay, I'm going to reach out to Nicole at Gmail. And then I can do that through Facebook Messenger. I can send her a text. I can send her an email through our system. I can do all of that right from here. The text, we can't text through our system. You can text through our iPhone app though. You can access.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Me either.
If you have, this is the bonuses of tuning in.
Awesome.
You can absolutely do that. What you would do is just go to the app. You have to have their cell phone number in there for it to know who you're texting. What it does, the reason we can't have you text directly from the website is because we can't connect to your phone number. So, when you get a text from like your doctor's office asking, to confirm your appointment or whatever, and it comes from like 384-12, that would be the kind of number that we would have to give you. And your prospects and your customers would be getting texts from you. The feedback was no bueno. So we don't really have another way to do that. So we had to scratch that. But from the iPhone and soon to be Android, we have our Android app is in testing. We expect that to be out in May, probably late. Wow. So that's very, very close. As soon as like it's bug fixed, then I can get that out to y'all. You'll be able to text from those because what we can do is it's already hooked to your phone. We can access your messaging from the phone and send texts through there. So you'll see there's a little green like quote box icon next to the contacts names in your contact list in the app. Click on that green icon, a little box will open up and allow you to type in your text from there. So you can track text in the iPhone app and soon to be Android app. But from here, you can't text, but you can say that you sent a text. So you can either use, if you're using a Mac, you can use iMessage. So you could have iMessage up through, if you have an account through Apple, have your iMessage up and Hotmail. Have your iMessage up, send your text, copy it, and paste it into the comments here. You can schedule your next follow-up from here. So if I wanted to say I don't want to forget to reach out to Nicole next week, I can schedule it, and that'll show up on the calendar now. And then I complete the reach out. What that's going to do is that's going to track to my goals up here and make sure that I'm on track and tell me, like, you know, I said I'd reach out to 35 people. I've only reached out to one person this week. I have a lot more work to do. So keeping you honest. And also, when your paycheck comes, you know, if it's not as good as you hoped, if you only reached out to 3% of what you said you would, that might have something to do with it. So a little bit.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure. Hi, Lori.
This is Lori. I'm trying to remember where you said we could enter the actual text of a text on our phone. I opened a reach out log and I selected reach out type text. I don't think I'm doing it right because there's no box to type or send the message.
In the app, unfortunately, I'm not hooked up to it, so I can't show you. But if you're in the app, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see contacts.
Yeah.
Click that. It's a slightly different way you have to do it in the app. It's attached.
Oh, I see it. That's perfect.
You see the little green little quote?
Yeah.
If you have a phone number for that person, then you click on that, type in the text that you want. There's also the scripts that you've loaded.
Holy moly, this is incredible.
The only thing I will say, the replacement tags, so the things that say like, hi, and then insert something, that doesn't work right now. I'm seeing if we can get it to work in the app. So you have to delete that before you send out the text.
Changer right there, that tip.
Yeah, see, it was worth tuning in just for that, right?
All my scripts are in there. That's amazing. The phone number is not popping up. Could I type in the person's name? Because she is one of my contacts. Do I?
Type in the name. If you have the number in Hilo, you'll see the number. It has to be in Hilo. So you would have to go in either that or import your contacts from your phone using the little icon up at the top.
Okay, I'll figure it out. But that's great. What a great tool that is. My gosh.
I have a question about that as well. So I'm noticing that like I have somebody who I have their phone number in the app, and for some reason I had 1-805 as our area code, and one is inside the parentheses. Like, is there a way to edit the number in the contact?
Edit the number in the contact. Well,
because
I'm not quite following. So when you click.
Oh, okay. I found it. So apparently, the phone number, how it was imported, it had like 1 and then the area code, and so within the app it doesn't allow for the 1, and so it kind of just screwed up the number a little bit, and so I had like 5 digits for the last 4 digits of the phone number for some reason. So
you have to get rid of the 1.
Yeah.
In order to, but you can re-import those if you want to get rid of the 1s if you have the same spreadsheet that you imported stuff from.
Okay.
You can re-import and it'll override it.
Thank you.
No problem. Well, I'm glad that we covered that. That was a lovely revelation.
Yeah. Can I ask you one more question about another revelation?
Of course, you can ask me anything you want.
Thank you. So the way you were talking about the new reach outs column, I've just been Hiloing it, but I've been using that as a reach out, sort of like, do you need product? Or I wasn't thinking about new reach outs for the opportunity, using it as that kind of a memory jogger and that kind of a record keeper and that kind of a holding me accountable to. And I just think that is a total revelation to me.
Yeah, that's why, so managing your pipeline, so you're on the pipeline page, and this is why it's tough when they say, like, how people ask, how am I supposed to use this? And there's lots of ways that you can, and it's really about the stage that you're at in your business. Particularly if you're someone who has, like, I have a lot of people buying product, but I don't have a lot of people joining my team, and I really want to push people to that. You can use these. We're actually changing this, where you're going to be able to customize these headers. So, and call them whatever you want.
Oh, cool.
So what that's going to do, and you can certainly do that right now. Like you can kind of, in your own mind say like, I'm going to use this column for this column for this column for this. But like, so I think of these things different ways too. So like, closed signed, like, there's one school of thought where you could say like, unless you're on my team, you're not in this. So if you've bought product, like if you've bought product from me and, like then if you brought product, you're maybe here, all info sent. So like I've gotten you to the product area, but now I haven't really had the courage to bring up the business, or I haven't really gone back to you about the business. So I could maybe move you into this column for product buying, and then here for followed up would be like, okay, I've started to do the business. And then you sit here in this fence sitter column until I move you over to this one, or you tell me like, no, I don't want to be on your team. So there's lots of ways you can use this, and you can certainly say, or you can use it kind of as it's laid out, and just say like, okay, once they've bought product, then I'm moving them back here to not contacted, and I'm working them through all the way for team again, or however you want to use it. But yes, you can use it as kind of a memory jogger, or like, I'm going to start you all the way over in the process until I get you to say yes. Like I want you still in that pipeline where I'm following up with you regularly to see if you'll join the team.
Okay.
So you can play around with this page quite a bit. There's also the filters up here too, where you can tag people, and then you can filter this whole view by your tag. So you could say like, or you could filter it by, the member, or for if you're with Rhododendron Fields, it's PC, and see where people are based on the type of contact that they are on the pipeline.
How do you add tags? I've had a tricky time with that.
Oh, we were just talking about that.
I'm sorry. I'll look it up myself then. Don't worry. I don't want you to repeat yourself. Can I ask you a different question?
Yeah, of course.
I sent out a campaign to just 2 people to try it.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and checked to see how it had gone, and I got an error message that it hadn't gone out.
Oh,
do you know what that might be about?
No. When did you send it?
It was supposed to go out 2 days ago. I wrote it at night and I scheduled it to go out the next morning. And then I have another one scheduled to go out in a few days, so I can see if that goes through. But there was an error message on the first one. I wondered if that was a known issue or if I did something wrong. Or
I haven't had any issues with campaigns
okay.
that have come to me, but I will look at your account and see if anything is not looking okay. And I'll also have my team make sure that everything is, looking okay on
Awesome. Thank you. I'll contact you offline about that. Thank you, Nicole.
Sure,
perfect.
Sure. And it was a campaign or just a scheduled email?
It was a campaign that had 2 scheduled emails.
Okay.
Day 1 and day 7.
Okay. Day 1 and day 7. Okay. I will look at that.
Thank you.
No problem. So just going back to the goal tracker page, just to kind of like bring this around and stay, see this all the way through. This can be used for prospecting, but it can also, the follow-up section, a lot of people use it as a mixture of product customers and prospects. And they just sort of mix them up in here. Scheduling, so once you've completed those reach outs in the new reach outs column, the system is automatically going to move them over into a follow-up status. So it's going to say like, okay, once you've completed your first reach out to someone, they're no longer in the new reach outs column. Now they're going to be moved over automatically and come up in this follow-ups column from now on. So whenever you add them to your goal tracker, this is where they're going to show up. So one of the things that this reminds you to do by having it set up like this is make sure you have, so right now I hit the Hilo My Week button and you saw that I didn't have any contacts to fill over here. It's because I don't have anybody left that's new. I've reached out to everybody. I've said something about my business to every single one of them. Well, now I'm going to go and get a fresh new crop and start hitting this, because your funnel will dry up. Your pipeline will dry up if you're not reaching out to new people. And sad as it is, people who buy product from you today may not buy product from you in a couple of months. So there's never that stability. You should always be filling that pipeline from here, from this new reach outs column. That's why this number in all of our goal options, the ones that we set, is bigger than this number. The new number is always bigger. So you can change your goal up here by clicking the change goal options menu. And then you can choose one of our 3 ready-made plans, or you can customize one yourself. But what we've done with these ready-made ones is we've really tried to show you, like, this is the floor that keep the lights on. This is a good strategy, and this is a really strong strategy. So based on how you feel about how you want to tackle your business, do I kind of want to do the minimum? Do I want to, you know, take on a pretty strong approach, or do I want to kick it in the pants, or even do it for 2 months? So like, I'm going to do Watch Out World for 2 months and see what that does to my business. So you can challenge yourself with these. What the plan you choose today doesn't mean that has to be the plan that you're working off of 3 months from now. It's completely, you know, all you're doing is clicking this, and the cues will adjust and your targets will adjust. So, sure, go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? What were you saying a little bit ago about when you complete a new reach out, it'll move it into the follow-up category? So if you have, say, you know, your goal is 35 new reach outs and 20 follow-ups, are you saying that when you complete a new reach out, it's going to move over into the follow-up column and count as one of those? Or is that a separate category of types of follow-ups?
So new reach out, so when you complete a new reach out here, you click the complete button and you go through this menu. You'll see that it says update pipeline position right here, the second field right there. I can change this, but the system is already taking this person from not contacted. J-Law was in not contacted. She's in the not contacted status. That's why she showed up in this queue. That makes sense so far?
Totally.
So she's not contacted. When I complete a reach out for her, the system is saying, you know, I can infer the fact that if you've reached out to this person, now they are in follow-up status. So the system's automatically moving them to contacted. So the next time you hit Hilo My Week, they'll show up in this section, not in the new reach outs. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. And if you had somebody calendared that you were supposed to reach out with them at a certain point and it was coming up, would it pop up in follow-ups? Would the calendar sync with that follow-up list? Does the calendar, do the people you need to be keeping in touch with or where you have scheduled follow-ups with appear on that follow-up menu automatically, that follow-up list automatically?
So if I clicked here, it says schedule next follow-up down here.
Yeah.
In the little calendar. So if I said that I was going to reach out to this person again on the 20th, oh, I need to, and then I complete the reach out.
Yeah.
I can see that follow-up in 2 places. So I can see it here.
Okay.
That's 16 days till follow-up. So I could see that if I wanted to just see it in a list form. And when I was saying,
and then your backlog, oh my gosh, this is brilliant.
and then once that date is reached, she'll be added to the top of this queue. And the reason we
Are you kidding me?
The reason we, no, I am not kidding you. This is what we do. This is.
Do you see that? Can you see the tears welling up in my eyes?
You don't
I'm
have
so
to, I'm sure you look lovely, even though you're.
I'm so psyched. I just can't believe how cool this is.
I'm so glad to hear that. That makes me very happy. You have no idea.
Thank you so much.
It will show up here on the 27th. That person will be at the J-Law will be at the top of my list with this little badge next to her name.
So I don't need to check the flashlight every day to see who's scheduled. It'll automatically populate my follow-up list.
It's automatically going to pop it up here. So, and if you have contacts in your goal tracker queue, there's also in the settings menu, you can opt in for our email updates, and it's going to send you a snapshot of your goal tracker every day. So here in notifications, you can have daily follow-up email reminders, and you'll get an email that looks like, let's see, do I have any in here? Oh, I'm in sent now. That would be why I can't find it. You'll get an email reminder.
I wonder if I can do that from my phone or if I need to do that online. I mean, on the computer. Account? Is it an account?
I don't think this is in the app. I think you have to.
I'll do it on the computer. Okay. So you go into settings and then you do daily follow-up email reminder. Okay.
Notifications. And this is what the email will look like. You'll get an email like this every day, and it's going to show you like where you are, so your percentage is complete, and also your current queue. So who's sitting in your queue? Have a list of them, and it'll show you all of your scheduled people in the follow-ups.
Do you understand? My heart is racing right now. I'm so happy.
Well, that makes me incredibly happy. You have no idea how happy that makes me.
I am such a chronically organized person. I'm so unorganized, and I just feel like I've dreamt and dreamt of a program that could do exactly what you're telling me is happening right now. I'm literally having an emotional reaction to this webinar.
Well, I'm so glad. It's going to get even better. We have some really cool customizable things that are being worked on right now that are you're going to be able to remind yourself of a lot of different things in different ways, and really be able to customize this to, if you don't like, so like right now it's set up the way that we thought best. But you're going to be able to make a lot of changes to say like, no, I'd really like this to come 3 days before the event, or I'd like to send an email directly after this happens. Like there's going to be a lot of automation involved. So it'd be very exciting. We're excited to get it out to you guys.
Great.
Nicole, I have a question about the flashlight. Can you click on it again, and can you talk about the backlog?
Sure.
Quick.
So the backlog, so scheduled follow-ups take precedence over everyone. So as these people up here, so Jane Seymour, J-Law, as these dates are reached, they're going to be added to the top of this follow-up queue right here. As that happens, if my queue is full down here, these people that are not scheduled, so the way this would happen is like, so I say I click Hilo my week and I fill that queue, and I don't actually, I'm falling behind. I'm not actually completing any follow-ups over here, but people are coming due for follow-ups being scheduled. So they're getting added to the top, which is bumping people from the bottom of this queue. And that's what the backlog is. So these are people that got Emily Blund, Christina Hendricks, and Ava Green were at the bottom of my queue. Uma Thurman, Alicia Vikander, and Blanche Dubois were added to the top of my queue and pushed them down into the backlog.
Okay.
But even if so if you came in here and you were like, no, I really want to reach out to Emily, you could complete the reach out from here, and it'll you can do it from the backlog if you want.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So yeah, so as I delete people from here, you'll see that it's starting to add people from clearing out the backlog and bringing them back to the main queue.
Okay. Great. And same thing, would that be the same thing that would happen, like if you would complete the task or the follow-up, it would also bring up the people in the backlog to the list of 20?
Yep.
Okay, awesome.
Any way that you're making room in this queue will move people up from the backlog into the main queue.
Great.
And as you saw, I was hitting this trash can icon. I always feel the need to say this because not everyone realizes this. This is just deleting them from the queue. I'm not deleting Keira Knightley from my list because she belongs there. Because I want her there. No, but I am deleting her from the queue. So there are lots of reasons that could happen where you say no, I don't really want to reach out to that person. We encourage you to not do it because you're scared. But if you saw on Facebook that her mom's real sick, maybe you don't want to reach out to her about skincare products. It seems like a bad time. So that's what these are there for. So don't be scared to hit those buttons. They're just going to wipe them from the queue for you. And the team reach out, this is, if you have a team, don't forget to reach out to those people and not just to your directs. So many of us reach out that one level below, and it's sad to say, but not everyone's direct is fantastic. Not everybody has a really someone that's checking in on them. And you see some people, it's like not everybody has great parents. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. So it can be really helpful for some people who are maybe 2 levels below you to just hear a note hey, just wanted to see how things are going. If you need anything, I'm always here. That might be the little push that they need, when they're thinking about quitting and this business isn't for them. That little bit of mentorship, just that little reach out might have them, it might open up a conversation between the 2 of you that gets them to see the business differently because they don't feel forgotten. So, sorry, go ahead.
Thank you. I tried to populate my team reach out column and people's names weren't coming up. Is that because they aren't my customers, they're my teammates, and I need to enter them somehow differently into contacts?
Do you have them in Hilo as contacts?
Maybe I don't. I don't know. I don't know if they imported over from behind the counter.
All you would have to do is, so when you import from behind the counter, when you export, you're going to get that in an Excel, right?
Yeah.
And what you would do, in order to come up in the team reach out column, they have to be considered downline in your contact type. They have to be a contact type of downline. That's how the system knows to add them to that queue.
I do that contact type drop down menu. Okay. So I have to designate them individually as my downline.
You could come in here and you could click them off if, I don't know how big the team is, but you could click them off here.
Okay.
Bulk update.
And then do contact type.
Contact type.
Wait, where was that bulk update button?
Sure, it's right up here. This little slew of buttons.
Oh my goodness.
You can also add people to your goal tracker from here. So if you were looking at this list and you were what, I want to remember to reach out to these people, you can click add goal tracker and it'll put them on the proper queue for you.
Because it'll know if it's a downline or not, you're saying?
Sorry?
You're saying because it'll know whether it's a downline or a client?
If you have that contact type in there. If what I'm thinking is happening is either your downline isn't called downline in their contact type and that's why they're not being added, or they're not contacts in the system and they just need to be added to the system.
I'm sure they're contacts in the system, and I'm also 100% sure I never designated a contact type for anybody in my contacts. So I'll go do that, and then they'll appear, and I can populate my team reach out column with them.
If you have an export from behind the counter, they give you a type. So it's
you could filter for that's a good idea. I could filter and just export that, you're saying?
Yeah, so if you do an export of your contacts from behind the counter, and then there's a type column when you get it exported in Excel, you'll see a type column. Do I have I think I made a sample of a dummy version of it. I think this is it. I could be totally wrong. I make so many of these things. Yeah, this is all fake. So this is a behind the counter. Can you see this?
Yeah.
This is a behind the counter. These are all the headers that you get from the behind the counter
right.
export. Yep. This is just, these are all my fake people. So the types that they'll give you are client, member, I believe they say consultant instead of downline.
Yep, they say consultant. Oh, so do I have to do that thing where you...
So you just up here in Excel, you can go to replace and you can find consultant.
Okay.
Replace with downline.
This is outrageous.
Find them all, click replace all, and then you can add then you can import this into Hilo. There's
Brilliant.
a video where I walk you through how to, everything that you should do.
About what we call it and what you call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that one. I watched that. I figured that out. But I didn't do the type of contact. So, and I definitely hadn't redesignated them in Excel. So I'll just do that. That's so helpful.
Yeah, and you can update that. So you can go in and re-import like all that whole list, and it'll change the contact type.
Oh.
So you don't have to worry about, you don't have to delete anything. You know, you're just gonna, the system will override anything in there with whatever.
I just do a whole new import of all my contacts.
Yeah, and if you wanted to add tags, so I always say this too, add a called tags, and put whatever tag you want in them, whether they're like social guest or something or whatever. You can put the tag here. If you have multiple tags for a person, separate it with a comma. That'll create 2 for them, or 3, or however many. And you can have them in here. So just that's a very fast way. If you have the data in an Excel, you can update it really easily.
And the tags column will transfer over into your system. It'll recognize. That's brilliant. What is the other way to add tags? I know I haven't been able to figure that out quite. Like, I met all these women at one event and I wanted to enter them all as new contacts and tag them as from this event. How do I do that?
So if they're new contacts, so if you are adding them, they're not in Hilo yet.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're adding them, how many do you do at a time? Would you be doing like 30 people, or would you be doing
I was going to add like 10.
10? I mean, one thing you could do is put it in an Excel and import it. If you're doing a large amount of contacts, that can sometimes be faster to just put it in like first name, last name, tag. You know,
or I could enter them into the behind the counter and then re-import all my contacts.
You can do that too. Or you can click this little green button up here.
What's this green button? Add contact. I can't see the green button because your screen is there. Oh, I see it. It's below your screen on my. It's at the very top toolbar.
Yep, the top
toolbar. Okay, I can see the top of it sticking out over you.
You can add a contact from 2 places. You can click this green button, or under contact management, we also have a little icon for it here, just so there were 2 places that you could always find it. And that brings up the add contact modal. And then you can type it in and whatever information you have for them. And then here there's tags and custom fields. Here, click on that, it expands. If you've already created the tag, there's a list of tags here that already exist. And if you need to make a new tag, you can type it in here and click add, and that'll create a brand new tag.
Oh, wow. I never saw that line where you could type it in. Got it.
You can type it in and click add tag.
Brilliant.
And then if you have notes or a reach out log or anything that you want to enter, you click add contact, and then they're in there. And then they'll have the tag automatically if you put them in that way.
Great. Wonderful. I know it's 4:30, so I don't want to keep you, but you made me think of one more question.
Sure, go ahead.
The reach out log. If you enter on the reach out log, do you get credit for that in your follow-ups having been done that week?
You do. So it's all going to be based on that pipeline position. So if the contact is sitting in the not contacted pipeline position, when you log the reach out, it's going to add it to that new reach outs graph. So, and if they're in one of the other 4 follow-up columns, so like the contacted, follow up all percent and followed up, then it'll add this graph. So if you enter reach out from anywhere on the site, it counts toward your goals.
Perfect. Okay.
The people it doesn't for is the completed. So if they're in the closed signed pipeline position, it won't count toward. They can be added to the queues. It's not going to add them to your targets.
Okay.
It's saying that they're not part of your pipeline.
Okay, perfect. This has been unreal. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicole.
Do you have any other questions? Are you good?
No, I feel great. I can't wait to hang up and get to.
All right. Well, let us know if you have any other questions, if there's anything else. Next week's meeting will be on Tuesday at 3 o'clock my time. I'm on the West Coast. 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We alternate it Tuesdays and Wednesdays each week, so people who have something going on every week at that time, aren't cut out. So thank you so much for joining and for being so engaged. And always know that you can reach out to us up here with the feedback link. It now opens up a ticket, and that'll go straight to our team, and someone will start working on it right away.
Thank you.
Thanks a million.
You guys.
Have a great week. Bye.